Welcome back to How to Travel in a Journey. You heard this a million times now, and today is one of those gifted sessions with my husband Ulli.
Hello, Alexander.
I'm looking over the camera. You see me looking over the camera because he's sitting across from me.
But you're tall enough.
Yes, but it looks awkward to somebody who's watching. You're looking always away from them into this, into the wide
So now the
open.
people are informed, they have to deal with it.
You have to deal with it. That's what he says. Well, you have to also deal with my lies, Uli.
Yeah, and you with mine, and that's what we're talking about today.
What are you lying about? Confession boxes on.
I would not say I lie, but I would say, and that's a different thing, in some things maybe I'm not totally open. I think that's a significant difference.
It's a white lie.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. It's a difference between openness and lying. So when I'm directly asked, you think this and that, then I will say the truth, I guess. But maybe I just sometimes hide some things that I don't find right to share with you. That's my.
I'm surprised now.
So you're surprised. You asked
I
me
am.
what I am lying about, so I ask you now, what are you lying about?
I don't lie to you.
So what's this all talk about?
You said you know. Here we go. No, you feel like your love never your love bubble never faded, and I'm saying my honesty bubble never faded in this relationship.
So honesty, the question is what we understand of honesty. What is honesty for us, and where should we always be very open and inform the other what is going on with inside from us.
Yeah.
And for me it's like my mind is often shifting quite quickly, and my emotions are also shifting quite quickly. I can be worried about things that are related to our partnership, to our relationship, and these worries, I know myself very good, these worries, 1-2 hours later, they're gone. They just evaporated into air. So in the time where these worries come up, and maybe even very intensely come up, I don't need necessarily to talk about that with you, to not to, I don't know, in German we say die Pferde nicht scheu machen. Ich weiß nicht, I don't know what it's called in English. To stir up something which is anyway gone after 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
So why should I make such a storm in the water glass just to get you also excited? On the other hand, when this persists and comes again the next day and the next day and then the week later, then I will definitely open it up.
I think personally that we do have to process things that land in ourselves, like a remark, an action, and not to fire away and like firing away blinds, shots, and feeling like we need to defend ourselves. That's what you're talking about. And I would have trained myself at this point not to do that, and just to take a breath, as they say, take a breath when you hear something or see something, and sometimes you can't, and that's also natural because that's a healthy relationship to me. That you might burst out in things that are unjust, but like Uli is saying, when you are being dishonest on major subjects in your how you feel, then it becomes a whole poking war. Then it's like, but you do this, and then when you do that, that's like that. Can't you see it the way I see? I think most of the time I'm trying to magnify when I'm not being honest how I feel about it. That's the point here about honesty. How am I feeling? Not how is he making me feel? How am I feeling in this? Then I'll start to create scenarios, and I can be quite witty with arguments, to be honest.
Yeah, you can.
But you can too. You can be super rational. Uli is, as I say in Ayurveda, a pitta brain. You know, he is very rationally. He is very male brain, left brain side. I'm very right brain side. I'm emotional and triggered, and also very creative, and how I can see the things. I can, see the glass half empty or half full. I can always spin a story out of anything if you wanted to learn something about me and Uli. But the point here is in our trying to create more health and sustaining health in our relationship means to both of us to become more clear on how we're feeling honestly about a situation. And then from there, revealing to the other person in the right manner that is how it makes me feel. Because we're all human. That's what you say. Like last time you quoted, Uli, from your favorite movie, Interstellar.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the the honesty factor is maybe 95%, something like this. And as you said, in the important things in our relationship or our lives, I'm very honest. I think the older I became, the more conscious I became, and with the consciousness came also the honesty. I grew up in a household where it was said we are just a perfectly harmonious family. My father died very early, and so there was the urge for my mother, who is a war child, to have a harmonious, happy family. And this was the dictum which I grew up with.
Yeah.
And I could not stand any disharmony in my relationships. So I tried to get the flag of the harmony upright. And this was one of the biggest mistakes I could do, because life is not always harmonious, and it's a construction. And so get out of the construction, be honest, be clear, and be authentic. Better to be authentic than trying to be harmonious.
And if you think about it, dear listener, and also, Uli, like so many relationships that we led or that you might be leading right now, is like there is the subconscious somehow traces into something is dodgy about this situation. Like, I mean, he's saying yes and everything is okay, but your inside radar is already kind of throwing a tantrum. Your amygdala, as I know, this is the part of the brain where you receive the most animalistic, instinctual signals, and they might pick up on like these little cues, and you're set off into trauma. But the outside world is always, it's all perfect what you want, and what you're creating is many traumas if you're not being if you're trying to pursue a story to the outside world that is not congruent with how you really live in through this. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, this reptile brain of yours, it's very, very sensitive, and it cannot be tricked out by words.
No.
It is you cannot lie to it. It's absolutely it's kind of a lie detector, and you feel the other. And the more fine-tuned you are with each other, and I think that's one of our goals in our partnership. We want to get more and more fine-tuned. We want to feel the other. We don't need too many words anymore. We just want to feel the energy that emanates from the other, and and we want to interpret it right. And this is harmonious. This can be harmonious if you swing in harmonious waves. And you cannot trick out the reptile brain, so you feel if the other is uncomfortable, if the other is feeling different than what he is saying. Oh, I'm feeling pretty well, and you sense something smells here strange, and then I do it very, very often. Then I construct some stories around that. So, oh, what can it be? And all these stories are, in the end, they're bullshit. It's just stories. And then it's absolute time to open up, and it's time to be honest.
Yeah.
Something like that happens.
This is actually how we met, in a very honest situations, and why we fell in love. And so in our next show, we want to talk a little bit about what honesty can sustain, or how you can be honest and vulnerable without being hurt. So that's what we want to talk about in the next show. So
Yeah, we will.
we will. There is a treatment ahead, and
We will come back.
not a treatment, but a treatment for your relationship. There is the possibility of rescuing what you need to rescue. So next show, when you listen back in, what we're talking about is about humor, loyalty, and the couple bubble. See you next time.